Morning. We are in Acts 16, and this journey through Acts I hope you're finding helpful. I am. So here's what I think we can get from Acts 16. I think what we need to do with this is well, you can do what you like, but I enjoy just looking at this and going, who's this Paul guy? Paul, Luke wrote more words than anyone else in the New Testament. He wrote Luke and Acts. Paul wrote the second most words in the New Testament, and he's sometimes a person people struggle with. Some of the things he said seem a bit harsh, or some of his letters are difficult. So let's look at Acts 16 and just through it go, who is Paul? So you start off and you think, well, 15 was all about you don't need to be circumcised, and here's Paul circumcising someone. What's going on? Well, he's taken this guy, an outsider, a young man, a really young man, and kind of elevated him and said, come and be a leader, come and follow me, be my disciple, I'm going to invest in you. And he circumcises him to protect him. Because as a leader, he's going to be called to a higher standard, because he's going to be seen as another rabbi, as another teacher, another evangelist. So he's actually protecting him. And even though he doesn't agree with the why, he's enough of a carer for people to know that this is going to make Timothy's life way, 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 way easier. He's a guy led by the Spirit. He sees this vision of a man of Macedonia, and as big as his brain is, actually he's led by the Spirit of God and what God says directly to him more than anything else. He's always about the outsider. So Timothy, with a Greek father, would have been a bit outside, not a real Jew. He calls him. He then, meets this Lydia, a Gentile woman, a rich woman, and he plants the church in her home, not in a good, safe Jewish home. He elevates her. He makes her a leader. He lands the church in her home. He makes this woman, who to Jewish society would have been a bit dodgy, and he makes her important. And then there's just, we'll come back a little bit. I want to skip forward to the prison, and he looks after the jailer. He cares about this guy who, was an oppressor. He was a jailer. His job was to jail people. And he was paid to keep them, probably like that, and he would have been killed if people escaped. And Paul cares enough for this guy to, not to leave prison and to keep everyone there despite the potential to escape, because he cares about this guy. And he's a guy who has this Roman citizenship, he's a Pharisee, he has all these good, position and place in society. But he doesn't use them for his own protection, he uses them for the good of the gospel. Now I want to come back to what I think is the key moment. There's this female slave who has a spirit who predicts the future. She follows Paul shouting, "These men are servants of the Most High God who are telling you the way to be saved." And Paul turns around and gets annoyed and he casts the demon out of her. Let's go just a bit deeper into that. This is a young woman, a slave, who isn't really seen as a person. Slaves were seen as less than people. She's spiritually and mentally sick. She's controlled and owned by men. She's a trafficked woman. And nobody sees her importance. And actually for Paul, it's not a problem what she's shouting out. She's drawing attention to the fact that he has the answers, that he can tell people about Jesus. And he won't be annoyed by that. If someone wandered around after me going, listen to this guy, he's going to tell you how to be saved. I'd be like, great, now let's tell her about Jesus. But actually, he's so annoyed that this woman is demon oppressed, human oppressed, not seen, not cared for, and he deals with her spiritual and mental sickness, and he casts out a demon. Not for his own annoyance, but because he cares about this young woman. So when we come to read what Paul says through the rest of the New Testament, maybe, just maybe, we need to see him in a different light.